All right.
All right, sir.
Cool.
If you would do just provide some opening comments, and then we'll go into a quick Q&A.
Okay, great to be here in Fairbanks, Alaska. Great to be in the great state of Alaska after a long trip that started in Hawaii, visiting PACOM and then moving on to Korea and then here. It's an important trip for me because it's an opportunity to look at some of the major efforts we're making to realign our forces with the Pacific and how our Army is positioning itself in that new strategy. So very, very, very happy to end my trip here in Alaska and to see some incredibly exciting things that are going on here.
Great.
That's great.
I have a question or two along those lines, I think, close enough to a segue anyway, and that is the pivot to the Pacific or to Asia that we've heard so much about. Please tell me if it's true that because of Alaska's location jutting out into the Pacific, I guess I'm wondering whether that would bode well for Alaska military installations, Army installations, you know, when it comes to the ongoing downsizing, cutbacks, base closures and that sort of thing. Does that provide some measure? I know you can't be certain, but at least some level of protection, maybe not is the right word, but no, the point I'm making is, does it make it
I can answer your question.
Thank you, okay, I'll stop.
I think it does. I mean, I think what you're trying to say is, does the all of the elements of the defense posture that we find here in Alaska, which is, you know, strong Army, strong Air Force, in particular, those two, does the strategy rely on those elements? Absolutely, absolutely. Alaska is an important venue to the Pacific. I think we have proven that in terms of our, for example, our Stryker Brigades that are here in Fort Wainwright. So I think the answer is absolutely yes. And as you connect all of the Pacific Rim on the west coast of the United States, along with all of the large and important Asian and European powers, Alaska is very critical to that.
And likewise with the Stryker Brigade, you know, rapid deployment kind of a force, and the training grounds here and the missile base, assets like that. I know there are no guarantees. Everybody's probably in for some kind of a cut, but I guess that's the bottom line I'm working toward. These are in a pretty good position when it comes to the cutbacks.
I believe that they are. We have some, you know, what I toured today, for example, the Black Rapids training area, and oversaw all of the large training areas. We have nothing like that, nothing as significant of that in other parts of the Pacific region. So outside of NTC down in California. So that's a very, very important asset to all of our forces, and particularly to our Army. So the answer is, I think your senses are right. This is very important to us.
Somewhat reassuring, yeah.
Dr. Westphal, you know, are there any plans in the mix right now regarding to regarding Fort Wainwright's future in Fairbanks that you see here?
I see. You know, we have no plans to shut down anything here. There's no planning going on to eliminate any of our installations in the state of Alaska. And if that's something that happens, it'll happen because it'll be started somewhere down in the future, you know, worldwide. But we have no plans to do that.
So there's no plans right now involving that.
No.
Not at all, huh?
No.
All right.
Go ahead. You have one on the tip of your tongue. It sounds
great.
like.
So Alaska being vital, you know, but how will federal cuts, you know, budget cuts affect Fort Wainwright in any way, or anything in USARAC? You know, what will there be a shift, and if so, what will it be that we can expect to kind of see, even though they're going to stay here, because it is a vital, you know, thing to have in Alaska, the Pacific, you know, but how will the cuts affect the bases that are already here?
Well, first of all, we don't know exactly the size of the cuts and the level of cuts that could occur. We know that come the end of March, we will face another set of decisions on the sequestration issue. We know that we are on a continuing resolution this year, right now in fiscal year 13, and that means that we are allowed to spend at levels equivalent to last year, so we're not allowed to spend beyond that. We hope Congress will pass an appropriations bill that would allow us then to start some new programs. That's very important to a lot of our installations in terms of infrastructure and MILCON, military construction. So we hope that Congress will address that with new appropriations bills. And we're not alone in that. I mean, every department of the government is in the same boat. So whether you're transportation or education, you face the same issues. So there's a sequestration and there's a continuing resolution, and we hope that gets resolved. And cuts across the board. For example, the president has already protected the salaries and benefits of our soldiers in this year. He has also indicated that we will protect all of our programs that address wounded warrior issues. We ourselves, the Secretary of the Army, is made it very clear he's going to do the utmost to protect family programs and the needs of families of our soldiers. And so whatever cuts do happen in the future will have to be spread among a lot of different elements of our force structure. And we hope that we can find some redundancies and efficiencies within the force, so we can do that over the next several years without severely impacting our soldiers and their families.
What about retention levels? It's getting a little harder with that being said, for soldiers to kind of stay in if they want, the levels are kind of getting upped a little bit. So what can you say about that?
Yeah, it is going to be harder all the way around, because we have to ramp down to a force of about 490,000 on the active side through 2017. So we know that we're going to get tougher on re-enlistments, and similarly we're going to have accessions, and we still need to move new folks into the force. We think the economy is going to get stronger. We believe it's going to get stronger. With that, more individuals are going to choose other careers. More individuals in the Army are going to choose careers outside the Army. That's another reason why we're working very closely with the VA to find ways to transition soldiers out of the Army, and with employers to find them opportunities out there, because we owe our soldiers that. So we think there's going to be some turnover there, but we believe, again, that we can do this in a very orderly process, that we can do it always to the benefit of our soldiers' future and their careers and their lives and their families. And we've got lots of programs instituted to try to do that.